Now McKenzie from wide out with the attempted conversion. He struck that pretty well. McKenzie is there and he says, I'll have you and I'll have the next one as well. And he burns Christie. Stevenson is there with him. So too Leonard Brown. Oh, brilliantly taken. It's a ball by Xavier Rowe. What a...
McKenzie takes a big right step, and this is the speed of him that he's got. He possesses, finds a gap, but look who's beside him. Stevenson. Good work from McLeod to get back, but they got another lucky bounce, and Rowe was right on the inside. There's a good halfback should. What a try for the Chiefs.
There are no Parisi. Nawani Tuase. Finally something. Nawani Tuase has Riley on the outside. Riley!
A bit too early. He's gone high. That's a great tackle from Perifetta. Great cover defence on one of the quickest guys on the field.
In touch.
No try.
So we've had about 5 rounds of Super Rugby. I know this because, the Crusaders have lost all 5 of them. And I guess, look, it's still a bit early. We're a couple of months away from the international season and Scott Robertson picking his first All Black side. But I guess it's still kind of fun to talk about, to speculate about positions, particularly in the post-Rugby World Cup. Obviously there's been there's going to be a lot of change. There's going to be the first All Black size Razor's going to name is going to be quite different from past All Black sides. The rumor is that Razors managed to convince our greatest lock, Sam Whitelock, Brodie Retallick, and the late Sir Colin Mates, to perhaps come back to the All Blacks. So, but one position I thought would be of particular interest is first 5, and who is going to compete for that black number 10 jersey. So I guess I think this video is going to maybe come not really as a surprise to most All Blacks fans who follow the sport really, really closely, like myself. As we know, Richie Mo'unga's time with the All Blacks is done. He signed a contract to play overseas, so he's out of the picture. Beauden Barrett, of course, is on his sabbatical in Japan. He may very well be in contention, but whether I guess that's still, I'm gonna probably put him as a bit of a question mark. Although I think if he was available, then it would certainly, we could talk about him a bit more. But that I guess naturally though they will, because we've always picked players who played in New Zealand, Super Rugby and all that. I guess that kind of leads us to this leaves us with a rather interesting scenario. Obviously, your current, I guess if you're looking at the Super Rugby franchises, the Blues, they've got Stephen Perifetta as the first. The Chiefs, they've got Damien McKenzie, and then elsewhere there's a lot of inexperience there. Wow, and Brett Cameron, if you want to consider him in the All Black in contention, and so I guess this is a video about Damien McKenzie. So I mean, unless something was to happen, Damien McKenzie almost by default should be the All Blacks number 10. Starting, of course, the run-on team. And it's not just default. I think by far he's been the most, he's been the best first 5 in Super Rugby. I mean, so far ahead of anyone else in New Zealand. And there's an interesting stat. Look. I think I was reading somewhere the Chiefs when he plays. The Chiefs are a completely different team when he's playing. And when he's the different, what I meant to say, the difference between the Chiefs when D-Mac's playing and when he's not, it's almost like a 20-point drop off. We saw that against the Chiefs Highlanders game when D-Mac came off with I think what appears to be an injury, which is why he's not playing in Crusaders Day. They just stopped scoring points, and it just shows you the quality he's had. Of course, we had that try and first up against early on in the season. And yeah, look, I mean, he certainly earned his right to be the number 10. He's obviously had that big injury which ruled him out. Won the 2019 Rugby World Cup, and he's come back and proven that he can be a very reliable number 10. And I think certainly playing in the peak of his career, he absolutely deserves to be the first choice. And of course, goal kicking is fine, you know, that smiley technique, whatever you think about it. He is by far one of our most reliable goal kickers. And, you know, in terms of backplay and all that, orchestrating backs, he is absolutely electric. And I think certainly, you know, you consider Razor what he's done. He is absolutely the player that Razor would like to run the back line. So I think as long as Damien McKenzie is fit, healthy, he will be the number 10 for the All Blacks. He'll be Razor's first choice for for the All Blacks. But of course, we know that rugby is not just the run-on team. It's not just the 23. It's the number for the 40 players you name, and certainly first five. Yep, nowadays we see 3 up, maybe even 4 first fives named. And I guess we'll be looking at specialists here, or I should say. For example, likes of Stephen Perifetta, who is is a first five but can play fullback. I guess Perifetta is kind of a bit before. I guess I guess I'm still not entirely sold on him, but I think he is clearly will be the backup to Damien McKenzie, just simply when you consider the other names that are around. Certainly, I mean, I know the Canes are doing well. I know Brett Cameron's done well, but I'm not certain he is the second best first five. And I think you could argue in a bit, and as I'm going to argue a bit, it's like, there's the influence of Ruben Love from playing from fullback. But yeah, Stephen Perifetta, now he's stepped out of Bowen Barrett's shadow. Has got the attributes to be the backup. Defensively, he's great. And of course, playing the fullback position, he knows how to cover pretty well. And goal kicking is really be solid. I know the Blues this season have mainly been the strength of the Blues has really been it's been their forwards. They've just, you notice a lot of tries is come from their forwards. I mean, and then and then the sparks and out of the wings, Caleb Clark and Mark Talier. But yeah, I think Perifetta's certainly been a huge factor in contributing towards the Blues' success. And look, I mean, he does offer an option off the bench, or even in a dead rubber game. And I think, I think it would be harsh not to consider Perifetta, given the options that are. I mean, I guess if Bowen Barrett was to come back into the equation, that all changes. But yeah, so Perifetta will be my backup, just ahead of Brett Cameron. And yeah, I guess one more shout out, as I mentioned, Ruben Love. And look, he's played mostly fullback for the Hurricanes, but he's been touted as a future first five. I'm thinking this might be an outside shot. I wonder if they might get him to play for the Maori All Blacks at first five and see how he goes there. But I think he's one you'd think he should be a first five in the future. Maybe not this season, maybe end of year 2 perhaps. But certainly playing at fullback has enabled him to sort of continue his development into what I think he'll be a top class first five for the All Blacks. But yes, I guess the reason I sort of mention him is just that I think given we don't have Barrett and Wonga and it's a new regime, perhaps maybe we might be looking at a bit of a reset. So those are the recap. Damien McKenzie is my first choice and first five, and then Stephen Perifetta is backup. And yeah, the third choice, I'm going to go for a bit of a maverick choice. If Bowen Barrett's not to be there, I think I'm going to go Ruben Love, just because it's a new regime. I'm not sure to go for Brett Cameron or Josh Ioane and I think Gilbert. And and I think the other thing is Fergus Burke. He hasn't really had much game time. So that's my thoughts. It's obviously March, so it's way too early, but here are my thoughts. Yeah, it's certainly one that you could sort of start to see set in stone. If you like this video, feel free to like, and don't forget to subscribe.